Hello and welcome to ICTN's Open Line Election Special. I'm Thomas Gandy. Election Day is May 9th and we want you to be informed. Voters will decide 3 city council seats. We invited all of the candidates to come to our studio and record an introduction, then answer a few questions about some of the big issues in the city. Among them, economic development and planned construction on State Highways 183, 114, and Loop 12. You will hear from the candidates in their own words. Their opinions are their own and not necessarily those of ICTN or the City of Irving. Early voting is April 27th through May 5th. Then Election Day, as I mentioned, is May 9th. Now, the messages from the candidates presented in the order in which they will appear on the ballot. First up, the race for Place 4.
Hello, my name is David Gutierrez, and I'm running for City Council Place 4. I want to thank everybody that has supported me in the past and also supported me now and helping me now in trying to get elected as a city councilman for the city of Irving. I have lived in Irving for 27 years. I was not born here, I was not raised here, but those 27 years has made me feel like I was born and raised here. Irving has become my home. I love my home. I got interested in the civic affairs of Irving some 22 years ago. I have participated as a former vice president for the Irving Health Board, Irving Sister Cities, Bond Committee, also the U.S. Census Committee, numerous other organizations that I've been involved in that I've been very proud to have served and still proud to serve Irving. I just came out of a 3-year term being with Dallas County as a board of trustee for Metro Care Services, which has given me a lot of experience and knowledge of how the government can work as well, because they go hand in hand, because they work both in the servant cities, the residents. Thank you. The number one and most priority one is the safety of all the residents of Irving. Our police chief has done a wonderful job in keeping the crime rate down, and I will continue to support the police department in anything that they might need in order to keep our citizens safe. Also, of course, I would also advocate for our fire department, which are doing a great job. There's a lot of development that is going on the northern part of the city that requires also the service. There will be a fire station that we'll be building up there for the homes that are being built and for the residents. I will continue my efforts to improve this, to help in any way I can, to make sure that the safety and the well-being of the city is taken care of. Thank you. I see bringing in other businesses such as we just lost Taco Cabana of a 183 and Story. I would like to see if we could get that type of businesses here on the downtown heritage business. I believe that once you start bringing businesses, inviting businesses to come to this location, things will start growing around the area. I believe with this will improve this area, but also the community. We'll also give some jobs also to the community here on the southern part of Irving. Basically, of course, South Irving, I'm in District 4. I'm running for that Place 4, and those are my focal point that I would like to see more emphasis of development, redevelopment, economic development, and more community involvement. I believe that by doing this, not only does the southern part of Irving win, but Irving as a whole. Thank you. This diversity creates, you have to understand the cultures and the diversity, which is a competency that is needed in order to understand and to better the community. The most diversity we have, the better opportunities we have to develop the city, to enhance the city, and to have a better community. The challenges that I see in the future is the people that are in leadership positions, that they understand these cultures, that they're aware of their needs, their experiences they've had before. I believe by giving these opportunities and focusing the diversity, the city of Irving can really be a model for the rest of the Metroplex, but also the country in general. As it begins, I'm looking that we're going to have a lot of traffic congestion. And the citizens of Irving have to be aware that it's a necessity and that we have to be patient and understanding. But we also have to be, as leaders of the community, we need to be also aware of the inconveniences that the citizens of Irving might encounter. So it would be our job to find ways to better comfort the atmosphere here within the city of Irving and for the residents of Irving.
I am Don Wilson, and I want to be your Irving City Councilman. My roots run deep in Irving, in its culture and its heritage. I am a lifelong citizen of Irving. I was born here, raised here. I met and married the love of my life here. We raised our children here, and I am proud to call Irving my home. My passion to help my fellow citizens led me to serve for the last 7 years on the board of the South Irving Property Owners Association. I have also served for 5 years on the Irving Museum Board, and in both cases I have served as the chairman of both organizations. Just like you, I have had enough of excessive spending, enough of public-private ventures where the citizens of Irving are not treated fairly. And I've had enough of what my fellow South Irving citizens call sin, South Irving neglect. I ask you, when is enough enough? I've decided that I have had enough and I want to be part of the solution, so I am running for City Council. We need to improve the appearance and livability of our city, which is important to our families, to our seniors, and we need to do this with an eye towards civic safety. We need to take the necessary steps today to ensure that our infrastructure of roads, of water delivery lines, and of water resources are ready for the future demands. And thirdly, as Irving's young people grow up, we need to ensure that Irving has what it takes to make them want to remain here. The former mayor of Dish, Texas, Calvin Tillman, has a saying that I believe is more than appropriate in this situation. Together we bargain, divided we beg. I have been told over and over that certain retail establishments and restaurants will not come to Irving because of the demographics. My answer to this is that the citizens that are concerned and the citizens that are willing to become involved in the process need to band together to present Irving in a way that the Chamber of Commerce and the Irving Convention and Visitors Bureau have not been able to do. As your chairperson, I will work with and push for a strong community effort to help selected companies know that the people of South Irving want to revitalize our community. It is time for we the people who make up the demographics to rise up and to visit the CEOs of selected companies and tell them that South Irving residents want you to move your company to Irving. As the sign in the Founders Plaza in the Centennial Park states, Irving, Texas, where the people are the difference. As a resident of District 4 for the last 65 years, and as the newly elected District 4 councilperson as of May 9th, I would want to see additional emphasis in District 4. I want to see an equalization of the quality of life issues between all of the districts of Irving. I was greatly encouraged when I attended one of the comprehensive planning workshops. I was at a table of citizens equally divided between South Irving residents and North Irving residents. There was a general consensus that a vibrant, growing South Irving is good for all of Irving. Diversity, by its nature, implies that a change is imminent. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on finishing the old, but on building the new. Energy should be used with thought and purpose. Are we focusing our energy in the right places? In Irving, diversity can bring strength. The multitude of new thoughts and beliefs can help to bring about better solutions to the problems that present themselves. It is important to preserve and to protect the heritage of Irving, but it is important to build for the future of all of Irving's citizens. One challenge of the process will be to focus the energy in the right places to bring about the desired results. We need to focus our energy on education, communication, and the building of community. These things can be enhanced by cooperation between the city, the school district to include colleges and universities, the faith communities, and all of the people of Irving. I believe that improvement to our roads and infrastructure is important to the future of Irving and will result in long-term benefits. I was present last Wednesday at the City Council work session when the Council received a report on the Midtown Express. During the upcoming year, one managed traffic lane each direction is to be added to State Highway 183. For the next 20 years, we will be contending with issues that arise from this development. To prepare for the expected growth in traffic in north central Texas, the expansion is necessary. However, Irving will take several hits: inconvenience to local traffic, economic loss to local businesses near 183, and other issues that will arise. All of this will occur during the time that we in South Irving are trying to create economic redevelopment. As a councilman for District 4, I will do everything within my power to help to ease the growing pains that result from the necessary improvements.
I am Joe Putnam, and I'm running for a re-election to District 4 on the Irving City Council because there are important issues in Irving which affect South Irving, and I believe that I'm the person who can best represent the citizens of District 4 in dealing with those issues. I have 40 years experience and involvement in dealing with South Irving issues, and I can provide management experience, effectiveness, leadership, and a very deep commitment to South Irving. Well, in terms of city services, a long-term water plan is the most critical, and that's of course something we face in common with other cities. Additionally, citywide, I think providing the fire protection that we need to keep up with the increased development in the city, and there, as everyone knows, there are plans underway for a new fire station in North Irving. And I think, as always, maintaining city streets is important. That's an issue that I hear a lot about, and so that would certainly be a priority. In South Irving, my two most important priorities are having an ambulance provided at Fire Station number 1 and the development of a recreation center in Southwest Irving. I think the City of Irving probably is doing about everything cities can do to encourage development. Cities don't make the market, they react to the market, and cities can accommodate development with infrastructure improvements. Essentially, I'm generally against large city subsidies of private development, but there are provisions in state law where we can assist in subsidizing or at least providing tax relief for new development. But I think all of those are on the city's agenda, and I think they're being implemented. Well, certainly I have a very deep commitment and loyalty to South Irving, so I would like to see certainly greater focus, or at least greater appreciation for South Irving. I'm not one of those who feels deprived because I live in South Irving. I love it here, but I do think there's been a focus on North Irving that probably to some extent has diminished the appreciation for South Irving, and I think city staff and city council needs to realize South Irving is a very important part of this city. I think mainly challenges. in terms of the increasing diversity of the city, and this is both in cultural and in language. From the standpoint of city employees and city personnel working with our citizens, dealing with language issues has obviously become a challenge in recent years and will continue to be so. Also, the additional, I guess, consideration of having city residents and city citizens feel like they're on the same page also probably presents a challenge. Well, we've seen what's going to happen over in Tarrant County, so I think we'll see the same here. It'll certainly be an inconvenience for a number of years until the mid 2018. Certainly the people that use 183 will be inconvenienced the most, but I think for everyone that's in or around 183, I think the next 2.5 years are going to be see a lot of inconvenience. And I think, but in the long run, it'll obviously be an improvement both to the state highway system and to the city of Irving.
Hello, my name is Phil Riddle. I'm a lifelong resident of this city, born and raised here, and I'm a candidate for District 4. I'm number 4 on the ballot. This is my second time to run, and I would like you to know that I am interested in serving you, the citizens of South Irving. I was raised here in South Irving. I'm a property owner here in South Irving. I served on the fire department for over 32 years, so I'm familiar with this city and I'm familiar with service to the citizens of this city. From my standpoint of service, I can tell you there's a big need in public safety right now. With much of the infill housing that's taken place, we find that we are undercovered as far as fire emergency service and ambulance service. We have a need for 2, maybe even 3 more fire stations to cover the city properly and to provide a good response time to each area of the city. Years ago, much of what was vacant land has now been filled in with a dense population, and that creates a much greater need for emergency services. I also feel like the street repair is something that needs to be given priority. Especially with the winter weather that we've had, we have several streets in the area that certainly need some pothole repair as well as just major repair to some of the road surfaces. The option of tax abatement always exists. I think companies look to cities now for when they're going to relocate, when they're going to develop, they look for an opportunity from a city to have their taxes reduced for a period of time. I think that is quite an option. I also think we could look at maybe waiving construction fees while not lowering standards for those construction projects, but certainly waiving fees to make it more feasible and make it a more desirable place for development to come in and people to produce new buildings and industries. I think for sure South Irving. I think the stalled heritage development project really needs to be gotten off of high center, I guess you'd call it. It seems like in the past several years we've had promises, we've had people make proposals, and nothing has taken place. I would certainly like to see city staff look at the proposals that are there, see if there's something that can be developed in order to get this vacant land that's in South Irving back on tax rolls and producing revenue for the city. Diversity creates a challenge for those who we would need to assimilate into our culture here in Texas and in Irving. The ethnicity of other people oftentimes doesn't blend well without a concerted effort. I think that's a challenge. That's a challenge for those of us who are here and for those who move here to become part of our society without losing maybe the flavor and some of the traditions of their society. I think it's what made America a melting pot. I'm afraid in the last few years we've become a little bit segmented and a little bit divided. and I think I would really like to see Irving be the place where the melting pot and the cohesiveness come back together. Okay, Midtown Express, Highway 183. Wow, what a long needed project this is. I think it will be something that will eventually end up with the ability for people to pass through Irving quickly, be able to enhance the center of town and what takes place there. But at the same time, we've got to realize this is going to be a long project. I think we've seen other projects that have taken many, many years. This will be a long one. We'll see increased traffic along Irving Boulevard, and we'll see businesses that will probably suffer, especially those that are along the frontage roads of 183 at this time. So I think it's going to be a long process. I think it's something we're going to have to try to weather as a community, but I think in the end it's going to be something that we're going to be very proud of, and it's going to be really a boost to our city.
Our election special continues now with the messages from the candidates for City Council Place 6.
Hi, I'm Brad Lamorges. I'm running for re-election to the Irving City Council District 6. And District 6 is basically far north Irving, Valley Ranch, and the Hackberry Creek areas. I am a husband of a wonderful wife, Amy, a father of 2 children, a pet owner of 3 dogs, and have lived in Valley Ranch now for almost 14 years, and been very, very proud to serve on the Irving City Council and be your voice for the last 3 years, and would ask for your support, friendship, and vote for the next 3 years. I think the biggest need in the city, in my opinion right now, having served on the City Council, is the fire service. And while it's consistently ranked as the highest service by the residents, it's something that got a little bit behind during the recession. So we've been working on purchasing fire trucks, ambulances. I have supported the new training center, which will be at 161 and Beltline, which is a crucial piece. And also Fire Station 12, which will be at the south side of Olympus and LBJ. It is critical for District 6, and it will put us basically back into safer response time. And that station was planned in the 1980s and was funded by bonds twice but never built. So this year we purchased the land for the acquisition of Station 12, and we have applied for a grant that would fund multiple firefighters. So we're very excited to move ahead on that and finish it in 2016. I think the city in the last 3 years, we need to do more of the same. I think we've done a great job. You'll see with the addition of the 7-Eleven corporate headquarters, Envoy Air, and more to come. It's very exciting because our corporate and business tenants pay basically 70+% of the taxes. So economic development is important. It's also important to the residents to see the kind of development that they want. And I was proud to cast a yes vote for the coming Whole Foods, which will be in District 6 at MacArthur and 161. And also we push for more single-family neighborhoods, as you've demanded, and less or to no apartments. So economic development is important, and it's important to me to see the development that you want. I would like to see added emphasis geographically in District 6. I think really what goes for the district goes for the city is we're looking at, in the past year, we did a comprehensive look at all of our streets to see which ones need improvement. But I've been pushing for more funding for our streets and sidewalks, and again, the kind of retail development we want. We also have wonderful redevelopment opportunities, even in Valley Ranch, with the Cowboys facility coming open. We've been working with residents and with the community on what we would like to see there. So I think that there's a redevelopment emphasis, but also an investment in our infrastructure, especially in District 6. Our diversity and population growth has been, it is a wonderful opportunity because if you look at the last 3 years running, the police force has reduced our crime each year. And we're at probably a historic low on crime levels, consistently ranked as the 5th or 6th safest city in the country. So that's exciting. The challenges for our growth is really keeping up with the pace to make sure we have the public safety, to make sure we have the green space and trails that I've supported, and really to make sure that our infrastructure is really what it once was and make sure that we invest in that. The other challenge is making sure that our retail opportunities offer the kind of things that our residents want. And as I mentioned earlier, we were proud to support Whole Foods, but you've seen an expanded Kroger in District 6. I think you're going to see other exciting economic development, and economic development that doesn't put the city at risk. It's safe development rather than, I think, the risky deals you saw in the past. It's a mix of a lot of excitement and a little bit of trepidation. The excitement comes from the fact that 183, 114, and Loop 12 definitely need the construction. We want to get back to the smooth lanes, the ease of movement that we want, and increased capacity is important. The trepidation is a little bit about what could construction bring. So as chairman of the Transportation and Natural Resource Committee for the last 3 years, we've committed to funding additional city staff to make this as smooth a transition as possible and to make it as quick as possible. So I'm pretty excited, and you've seen a commitment on the city to move this project and to get us those additional lanes.
I am running for Irving Council, Place 6, because I see a desperate need for leadership in our city government, and I believe I will make a positive difference. I learned a lot about leadership while serving in the U.S. Army and the Army Reserve for 22 years. I was deployed in Operation Desert Storm and in Operation Joint Endeavor in Bosnia. In Bosnia, I served as the legal advisor to the Bosnian Election Commission and helped draft Bosnia's election law. After retiring from the Army Reserve, I began serving as a commissioner on the Buildings and Standards Commission and on Irving's Green Advisory Committee. I have served as a co-chair for the One Irving Capital Campaign and as chair of Irving's Transportation Management Association. I have also served on the boards of the Chamber of Commerce and on the Irving Symphony Orchestra. I'm a regular volunteer for the North Texas Special Olympics. We all have a responsibility to serve our community in one form or another. I believe that the time is now to invest in the long-term prosperity of our community. I have the experience and the proven conservative leadership to ensure a safe and prosperous future for Irving. The loyalty of a city council member should be to the future of Irving, not political agendas. We should work together to improve our tax base, bring in much-needed retail, and lower our property taxes by encouraging responsible growth with a greater vision. No more politics as usual. I am your candidate for Irving City Council, Place 6. Irving's greatest needs is sustainable infrastructure. Transportation, water, sewage, and waste management are critical to the expected future growth of Irving. Irving is in the center of the Metroplex and will continue to grow, and it needs to have sustained infrastructure. Irving roads and municipal systems are aging and in need of a comprehensive plan for evaluation and repair. In addition, the recent increase in earthquakes needs to be thoroughly investigated so that the potential future problems with Irving's infrastructure are addressed as soon as possible. Irving needs to continue aggressively seeking future water. Recycling efforts should be increased throughout the city, both residentially and commercially. Irving needs to complete the projects for which it has already made commitments. The barriers thus far have been special interest and petty politics. It is time to make the right decisions for the future of Irving. The entertainment center needs to be completed on time, and a contract needs to be finalized for a viable hotel at the convention center. The city owns considerable assets in the downtown area, and we need to start making better progress on the redevelopment of this area. Some strides have been made, but we should be further along. The old Texas Stadium site is prime real estate and should be developed into a world-class, multi-use, transit-oriented development. An open request for proposals is essential. When I talk to my neighbors about improving the quality of life in Irving, the first thing they mention is shopping and entertainment options. Irving needs to encourage and promote investment in the community by new retail, restaurant, and entertainment ventures. Revitalization of downtown and completion of the urban center vision will begin to address these needs. The increase in tax base brought by these investments can be used to support necessary additional infrastructure. Irving continues to have one of the most diverse populations in Texas. Diversity is not a challenge, it is a blessing. A diverse population is indicative of the educated workforce that is needed to support our corporate growth. We need to be accepting and understanding of people with varying backgrounds and beliefs. It is important for us to get more people with diverse backgrounds involved in Irving and to serve on the city's boards and commissions. We should also not be wasting our efforts on issues that don't improve the city, but instead alienate large portions of our populations. The Midtown Express is underway and will be a traffic issue for several years. Communication, communication, communication. We need to make sure that the residents and businesses know the work that is being done long before it interferes with their daily lives. Basic road maintenance is a must. We need to properly fix other adjoining roads as we go. It's just important to keep the people involved and participating in the project so that everybody feels invested. It's going to take a while, but we need to be patient because it's going to be good for our city.
Now to the candidates for City Council, Place 8.
This is Tom Spink. I want to thank ICTN for this forum. I also want to thank Joe Phillip, that served District 8 for 17 years and taught us it is not the I or me when running for council. It is the team. It takes a minimum of 5 votes to move the agenda along for the benefit of the people, and to that end, I seek to be returned to this team to serve my fellow citizens for the next 3 years to complete some already active issues. In 2012, we were put on a watch list by Standard & Poor's and Moody's because we were planning to spend more than our cash reserves would allow to maintain a AAA bond rating. So the council cut back the spending, and we were removed from the watch list, and we were awarded the prestigious Malcolm Baldrige Award, never before won by a city of our size. And in 2013, we solidified our AAA bond rating, and again in 2014, and gave the taxpayers a tax reduction for the first time in over 10 years. We are currently on target for 2015 for our AAA bond rating. The biggest asset the council can provide its citizens is their safety. Year after year, our police department has given us a reduction in our crime rate. The council has reciprocated in giving our police the best equipment, arms, and manpower money can buy for the benefit of our citizens and the protection of our officers. During this time has come to light our biggest need for citizen safety is the additional needs of our fire department. Our equipment is obsolete. Council, staff, and fire department are looking into leasing new equipment to come up with to code over the next 5 years by leasing equipment. Our PPC rating is a 2 and borders on being reduced to a 3 because we are unable to serve the north parts of our city in a timely fashion. Council has stepped up to purchase the land for the new Fire Station 12, which should be completed by August 1st of 2016. To solve this issue and provide 4-man staffing for the first time, the fire department is applying for a SAFER grant, which will pay for 29 of the 50 new men needed to man this station. This and other additions will raise our PPC rating to a 1, which will, for the first time, provide the ultimate safety of our citizens and firemen. This is the reason the council and staff have agreed to undertake a 5-year plan for the future economic growth and development of our city. This plan will outline the direction we should follow to accomplish our objectives. I think the mayor addressed this issue in the State of the City address in January. Use all our assets to accomplish the economic development of our city. That is working together with Irving's great school board, our 5-star chamber, ICVB, our staff, and our economic community leaders from real estate agents and all other businesses that play an integral part of our economic future. In my opinion, this question causes many of the problems of Irving. A north and south division of our city has been a deterrent to unifying all the citizens' desires. There is no one area that should, could, or will have more concentration. It takes all areas for the success of our city. Too long have we been divided in our own city. It is time for all of us to come together and understand that each section is a part of the whole. And working as a team, we can achieve all our needs while trying to resolve each other's particular issues. The challenges are education, religion, sociological differences, and economics. Irving is a city of diverse cultures. It is a challenge and an opportunity to blend these cultures into a successful unity. Americans, Texans, and all Irving citizens live under the rules and laws of the Constitution of the United States. And with that in mind, we should all work together with all of our differences in cultures to achieve the highest degree of understanding and compassion. We must all utilize open communication and transparency to acknowledge everyone's rights and freedoms in America, Texans, and importantly, right here in Irving, Texas. The Midtown Express is a very serious undertaking and will be done in phases over the next 20 years. Not 3, not 5, yes, 20. Therefore, it is very important how we communicate this to our citizens and how it is managed. It starts with 114 and then to Service Highway 183 and then Loop 12. Service Highway 183 initially is only adding 1 lane each way. Our businesses are going to be dramatically impacted on this project. That is why the council must be fully engaged during the entire construction. While this is going on, and in the next 120 days, 4 major corporate relocations are seriously considering making Irving their new corporate headquarters. To put this in perspective, when Plano got Toyota, they brought in 7,000 new employees. This relocation will redevelop 152 acres in Irving and provide 15,000 new jobs. This will be the largest economic explosion in the Metroplex. That's why I ask for your vote to return to the team and continue working on these projects, and I'll help our team move forward.
Hi, my name is David Palmer, and I've been a resident of Irving for over 21 years. I've raised my family here. My 3 sons all went through Irving ISD. My wife and I got involved in the community here in Irving, initially through organizations like PTA and Boy Scouts and YMCA. That's what we made was our way of entering the community, was through our kids, and that's how we met people across the city. And today, I'm interested in looking to see how we can make the city a better place so that our kids choose to stay here and live here and make this their home for their families. I've spent 7.5 years on the Planning and Zoning Commission, another 2 years on the TIF board, and I believe I have the skill set and the mindset necessary to go down the path here in Irving for the comprehensive plan process we're beginning. I think the biggest needs in the city are, generically speaking, economic development. However, I think before economic development can really occur, there's some essentials that have to be in place, and those are primary functions of city government. Things like water, roads and parks, waste management. Those are all necessary components to have economic development so that we can get the better shopping that people constantly ask for. I think great emphasis needs to be placed on these essential services of the city, particularly in the southern part of the city, where just because of a matter of fact and age, most of those water, sewerage lines, etc., are 50 and 60 years old. And those are the things that are going to have to be replaced in conjunction with economic development, or be replaced in order to spur and spark that economic development and allow it to happen. Much like the last question, similar topic, infrastructure improvements. Things like roads and parks. Those are things that people pay attention to. They're a part of their everyday life when they run up and down roads and they're full of potholes. When water sits out in front of their home and doesn't drain for a week after it rains, those things concern them. Those things, when they get repaired and fixed and put in better order, better maintenance, I honestly believe those will help spur economic development. I also think critical to spurring economic development is the proactive approach we can take, specifically in the downtown Heritage District around the TRE station. I'd like to see added emphasis in the southern part of the city. Over the last decade, many positive things have happened throughout the city, and a lot of emphasis in the northern part of the city. Single-family residences built, hundreds of them. the convention center, the entertainment venue that's under progress right now. But in the southern part of the city, I think residents have probably received more promise than progress. And so I think emphasis needs to be placed on it, again, particularly around the downtown area, around the TRE station, because I firmly believe that when development occurs around that station, that will continue to spark development of housing throughout South Irving. And a fundamental principle is business follows residential. I think that it creates a great opportunity for us. We're sitting at really a gateway to the world with DFW Airport at our doorstep. That's what helps bring so many people to this. My business is located in the 75038 zip code, which I think has been named as the most, if not one of the most diverse zip codes in the country. It creates challenges through the school systems, of course, with a number of different languages that are spoken. It also creates that same challenge just in the community with multiple languages being spoken. But as people assimilate into the community, it gives us great opportunity because we have so much different perspective coming to us from different places around the world. Helps us get perspective on how some of the things we have are really a lot better than perhaps we take for granted, and also ways to see improvement. I'm anxious for it to begin. It's one of the things again, my house is probably 200 yards off of Highway 183, and I think it's going to be excellent for us as that construction begins. It's going to be obviously inconvenient for a period of time, but it also gives us the chance to really look at redeveloping the businesses that are on the service roads of that highway, that everyone's going to be looking at, the tens of thousands of people that will pass that, go through our corridor, go through our city daily on Highway 183 and through that corridor and exchange. And I think it gives us great opportunity with probably the most valuable piece of property in the Metroplex, which is the old Texas Stadium site, when all three of those highways that intersect there have been renovated and repaired to handle the traffic.
Those are the messages from the candidates. If you missed any part or want to watch the show again, check out the show online at youtube.com/The City of Irving or go to ictn.tv and click on shows. To recap, early voting is April 27th through May 5th. Then Election Day is May 9th. The City Secretary's office can answer election questions. That number is 972-721-2493. There is also information at cityofirving.org. Thanks for watching this special edition of Open Line. We'll see you next time.